This short video will inform you how to fit the Wise cage feeder and also the advantages of using it. The cage feeder was developed to save feed costs by being able to mount the feeder off the ground. This prevents the birds from reaching in and instinctively scratching out the food as they select pieces to eat. In the feed chamber, individual sections prevent the birds from side-swiping the feed out onto the floor. By simply stopping this from happening, you will prevent feed that, with a traditional feeder, normally lies around on the feed tray, encouraging vermin to visit. Along with the vermin comes disease. The Wise feeder prevents that. It has been proven that you can save up to 40% of your feed costs. The Wise feeder has been developed for use with both an arc-type cage and a vertical-type cage. It has its own rain guard, which needs to be fitted prior to mounting inside the cage structure. The rain guard also prevents other species, such as crows and pigeons, from visiting the feeder, as they are unable to gain access to it if it is set at the right height. The ideal height for fitting the feeder, depending on the birds that you are feeding, should be between 15 and 25 centimeters from the ground. On the underside of the feeder there is a range of small holes. These holes are for the drainage of fine dust that can often build up when a lot of food is cycled through the feeder. The principal advantage of having the Wise feeder on the outside of the cage is that it is less stressful to the birds and gives easy access to topping up the feeder. In many cases, with an arc-type feeder, access can only be gained by kneeling on the ground and reaching inside the cage. This is often a messy and inconvenient way of feeding the birds. On the outside of an arc, access is more readily gained. When fitting the Wise feeder to an arc-type cage, use the two long hooks on the top and two cable ties for additional security. The location points for the ties can be seen on the bottom front face of the feeder. The rain hood acts as an infill and prevents any gaps being left. The critical thing is to ensure that a stable anchor is provided by the hooks, and when the correct position has been located, only then cut the cage to provide access to the feeding area. On a vertical cage, the four smaller hooks can be used to provide a safe anchor, and again only cut the cage when you are sure that the correct position has been found. The Wise feeder is suitable for all kinds of feeds, from corn to pellets. An interesting feature of the Wise feeder is the additional 5 kilo cartridge, which can be bought separately, and is an added reservoir of feed as your flock grows or you need additional time between replenishing the feeder. These cartridges can be stacked on top of each other as required. Setting the exact level for feed is very important with some flocks, and this can be achieved by adjusting the two sliding nuts and moving the slide to the desired height. This can be completely closed if required. The lid can be easily slotted onto the container, which makes filling easier. The Wise feeder is made from food-grade polymer and is fully UV protected. BEC have 50 years' experience in the manufacture of poultry equipment and are recognised as global leaders in this feed technology. We hope that you and your birds benefit from this Wise feeder.